How are we doing today? Okay, thank you very much. You are in charge tomorrow because I'm not here.
Yes, yes.
Okay. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to our new program, the Chef's Platter. The Chef's Platter is a program that will be taking you through a journey full of beautiful culinary arts and culinary dishes throughout all the world. My name is Mohsin Koric. I will be your host. I am the executive chef at the Fairview Hotel in Nairobi, a hotel by City Lodge, South Africa. Salim,
Yes, chef.
how are you? Would you get this please to the pastry? And then I need you also to look, to check on Pwani,
Yes, sir.
and to check you are here, so check on here.
Yep.
And then in between you go to Pango and check on Pango, please.
Okay,
Yeah?
sir.
Okay, so, okay. Well, I wish you a great evening, and I will see you on Monday.
Okay.
Have a beautiful day tomorrow. We are going to try to put it as an educative program, so we can show you and let you see how you can make a beautiful dishes. Now, throughout my journey, 35 years of experience. I am a Michelin star chef for about 27 years now. The Michelin star is actually one of the biggest, highest achievement that you can have throughout your career. It's an honor for me to be a Michelin star for 27 years. And I have been working in the United States, in Asia, and now I decided to come to Africa, where actually I am from. Thank you very much. He's done a great job when you were not here.
Yeah.
Huh?
I've seen everything covered.
Very, very good. Very good. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I was born in Morocco, and I did my education in France. I am a very, very classical French chef, like you said, but the infusion between being Moroccan and studying in French, I created my own cuisine, and that's a French with a Moroccan touch. So we will be hosting this, and I hope that you will enjoy it, and we will really show you and teach you how to make your evenings at home or as a professional chef, beautiful dishes and beautiful flavors. Thank you very much, and I hope that you will enjoy with me this journey that we're gonna take you very, very far. Now what we're gonna do today is a couple of things that are easy enough to make at home even, or for the professional chefs to see how we can work with colors and we can work with plating. First of all, we're gonna make the smoked duck fillet. Now for smoked duck fillet, you need the duck, of course. Now the duck, the duck fillet, we have cleaned it a little bit, but what we need to do is very important. Is this here? We need to take away all the way so the duck is beautifully cleaned, and then when it smokes, it doesn't curve. So clean it very, very thorough. And of course, when it curves, the duck is gonna be very tough. So we're gonna clean it. And one very, very important thing is to cut inside the fat of the duck so that it doesn't curve, and that also the smoke goes into the meat. Okay, so here's one. We're gonna do the other one also. The same thing. Now keep in mind that the duck needs to be very fresh, and if you are really cooking at home or a professional chef, keep this. You know, this you can make a stock out of it, and this, the fat, you can actually melt it, and then you can make a confit, what we call a confit, which I will be telling you about later. You can melt it, and then you have a duck fat or a goose fat, and then you can make a confit out of it. Okay, so we're gonna start cleaning. And one very important thing, sharpen your knives, because most of the accidents in the kitchen happen when the knife is not sharp. So sharpen the knife and let the knife do the job, actually. Okay, here again, we're gonna cut inside the fat, and then okay, let's put this on. Now this is what we call a smoker or a smoke oven. And if you want to see, this is where we're gonna put the duck, and then underneath we have chips, wood chips. So they're gonna get a little bit the heat underneath, and then they're gonna start smoking, and that's where we do then the process of smoking. Now the process of smoking is very important to know the timing also, because when you smoke a piece of meat or fish, you don't want that very, very bitter taste. You want it to be neutral, because also when you make the sauce, you're gonna make the ingredients with it. You don't want that the duck and the smoke take over the taste and take over the flavors. Okay, so we're gonna wait a little bit until this starts to smoke. We're gonna keep it smoking for about a minute and a half, so the first bitterness disappears, and then we're gonna put the duck in it. Okay, so we will get back to that. Take this. Now, when you are working with duck, duck is a very delicate, it has a very delicate taste, and the taste is very important also when you want to give the ingredients that goes with the duck. Okay, so you have to think about sweetness, because we're gonna make today, we made the chocolate vanilla sauce with the duck. We have the freshness of the duck, and we have also the sweetness of the chocolate sauce, chocolate and vanilla. Now, what goes with chocolate and what goes with vanilla? We have orange, we have beetroot, we have beautiful cucumbers. We make a jelly of white chocolate, so we break the bitterness of the smoke oven. So very, very important, the fat, the balance, You see, I can see here that there is a little bit nerves that can affect the tenderness of the duck. So I'm gonna get it out. Same here. Okay, so our raw material is ready. The smoke is ready. It's smoking already. So we're gonna put the duck in the oven. And then we're gonna keep it for about a minute, minute and a half to 2 minutes. Okay, these ducks are a little bit thick. They're thick, so we're gonna leave them for about 2 minutes. In the same time, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna start with my sauce, and then with plating. Now, plating is very important. We always, when we talk about plating in the kitchen, it's very important to know what ingredient goes with what you are making. So the main course or the main ingredient is your meat or fish. We have had a duck that we smoked already, so the end product, we'll see. So we smoked it and we vacuum it in a small marinade of rosemary, thyme, a little bit garlic, and some onions. So we vacuum it for 24 hours. So the marinade gets into the duck. This is the end product. It's smoked. We're gonna give it a little color. So while the other is smoking, we're gonna give this a little color. You see how beautiful the marinade is? And because we cut inside the duck, the marinade goes inside also. Very, very important, because at the end, you know, you want something, when you eat something, it has to be full of flavors. It has to be finished with all the ingredients that go with it. So it has to be a harmony between the small and the main ingredients. Now, we talked just now about what I said is keep the fat of the duck, because we can melt it and use it for a confit. Now, a confit is something that is cooked very slow for lots of hours on a certain temperature, and then underneath the fat of the duck. So what we made is we made a confit from the meat that we cut every time, the meat from the duck's legs, and then the confit puts the meats, we put in under the fat, and then we put them for 3.5 hours in the duck fat in the oven on temperature of 112 degrees. Why 112 degrees? Because on that level, the fat does the egg whites, let's say the white of the fat, doesn't coagulate. So you still have a beautiful, and for 3.5 hours they will cook on the temperature And this is the sauce. So this is the end result of all those small small pieces of duck plus the duck leg that we cooked for about 3.5 hours on 112 degrees. Now this we're gonna put just for a couple of minutes in the oven. Take this out. For about 8 minutes. So you see, it's still beautiful, still raw, but it smells beautiful from the wood chips. And then we're gonna give it a beautiful color. And after that, we're gonna marinate it. We're gonna put it in a marinade. We're gonna vacuum it in a plastic bags, and then we're gonna leave it for 24 hours to get the marinade inside and the flavors, the different flavors. Now this is of course a professional kitchen. This is of course, we are professional chefs, but you can do lots of things at home. I mean this, like this one, you can buy a smaller one for a couple of thousands of, or you can even have something like this with the lid on it, and then you can put the chips and then smoke things at home. But you can also get it from a professional shop. You see here, I don't need to put any butter or any oil because this is more than enough. The fat smells, it's more than enough to cover the whole plancha. So okay. We're gonna start plating. Just one plate. So I'm working here because I like that the plates are a little bit hot when I serve the food. So this is a surface which is about 40 to 45 degrees, so that's very good for the plates. Okay. We're gonna start with a jelly of cucumber. Like I said, cucumber is a little bit the sourness, the acidity to the plate or to the ingredients. Then we have orange, which is gonna give us acidity and sweetness. Now I have a plate, beautiful, 2 colors. Now I need to think, what do I need? Do I need sweetness also to go with the duck? So we made a white chocolate jelly. Now the flowers. A white chocolate jelly. Melt the chocolate, little bit cream with it, some agar-agar with it, and you leave it to rest for about 2 to 3 hours. Now I have, yes, I have green, I have white, and I have orange. Orange, that's a color that is affecting the plate. So we're gonna break a little bit the colors, and then we're gonna add a red. A red. Oh. This is a spaghetti of beetroot that we made yesterday. So we're gonna give a little color to the plate. Okay? And then of course, edible flowers. Edible flowers are beautiful. They grow in Kenya. Beautiful, beautiful. And we have them here in the Fairview Garden. So we're gonna give the plate okay. So let me see the. Can I have a small cutting board? Now, like I said, plating is very important. Plating is really very important because before we start eating, we look at the plates first. So if you go to a restaurant or if you have people coming to your house for dinner, you want to make impression. And impression is, of course, how beautiful is your plate. When you go to buy a plate for your house, try to combine colors. Try to find beautiful plates that will give already a background for your main course or main dish. Try to make things that are colorful because, you know, nowadays we have so much beautiful ingredients coming from the soil here in Kenya. We have so much farmers that are much more knowledgeable about, they know about lots of ingredients that are coming from the East or coming from Europe or coming from Asia, and they are growing them here in Kenya, and it's so beautiful like this, these colors. Gets me the... Now, the confit, we put it in the sauce, and it's beautiful and soft, so we're gonna put it here on the plate. And then you have the duck. Now I like the duck to be beautiful and rosé from inside, red from inside. And then the chocolate and vanilla. A combination, beautiful. Voila, combination. Now, what we said, very important, is your main ingredient, okay? So when you go to the butcher or you go to the supermarket and you want to eat something, choose something that you will combine. Think about the menu. Don't just go and then buy things and then it doesn't match. So think about your menu. What are you going to make for your guests? Now, we decided to make for you guys today duck. So duck, we did it to different ways. We did the confit that under the fat for 3.5 hours, and then we did the smoked duck, 2 minutes smoking, 24-hour marinated, and then for about 7 minutes in the oven on 139 degrees. Now, while we're doing that, we have to think about what ingredients do go with a duck smoking, because you have already a flavor of the chips, of the wood chips, and then you have the sweetness of the duck meat. So we choose for a sauce that is dark chocolate with vanilla. We choose for jelly, which will give us the acidity of cucumber. A jelly of orange, because orange and chocolate are always a beautiful combination. It's a beautiful marriage always. So we did the orange jelly. We made a jelly of white chocolate, and then the flowers are, of course, added the colors, but also very, very important, the sweetness of the bees, the sweetness of the nature in those flowers. So this is actually the plate, and I think if we have guests and we serve something like this, and what I said very important also is the first sight that your guests will see is a beautiful plate. Now when the plate is beautiful, people want to start eating it. Now the combination with beautiful and people starting eating is, of course, the ingredients that you use and the flavors that you will give them. So, bon appétit!